Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why do I feel so sad, even when everything seems okay? Or maybe, why does this sadness come back again and again? Like an old friend I never wanted. We've all been there. Moments where we smile in front of the world, but cry when no one is watching. Moments where we scroll endlessly through our phones, searching for meaning. Moments where we feel completely lost, like a tiny boat in the middle of a giant ocean. But what if I told you that you don't have to feel that way anymore? That you can become so still, so aware, so free from emotional slavery, that no sadness can touch your soul again. Yes, that is possible, and not through motivation, not through fake positivity, but through ancient Buddhist wisdom. Welcome to Wisdom of Sparks, a space where we don't just speak, we reflect, we don't just learn, we transform. And today, I want to share something with you. Not just teachings, but a truth that will gently break your illusions, hold your hand through the pain, and show you the light on the other side of sadness. Let's be honest for a moment. You've been told that sadness is a part of life, that it's normal, that it will pass. But that doesn't really help when your heart is breaking, does it? We live in a world full of advice. Stay strong. Time heals everything. Just think positive. But none of those things change the inner storm. You see, what most people never tell you is this. Sadness isn't the problem. Your relationship with sadness is. The Buddha didn't teach us how to avoid sadness. He taught us how to understand it. He gave us tools, paths, mindsets, not just to survive life, but to become emotionally invincible. Imagine waking up and feeling peace, even when your plans go wrong, even when people leave, even when life doesn't look like how you imagined it. Imagine becoming so centered. That sadness comes, but you simply watch it like a passing cloud. You don't chase it. You don't run from it. You observe it, and you smile. That's not just a fantasy. That's the path of Buddhist philosophy. Pain is certain, suffering is optional. Buddha. Let that sink in. Sadness will knock on your door, but you don't have to let it live inside you. You don't have to feed it, entertain it, or build your identity around it. But to do that, you must understand the root cause of sadness, because once you understand something fully, it no longer controls you. In Buddhism, the first teaching the Buddha gave was this: life is suffering, dukkha. But wait, doesn't that sound depressing? Why start like that? Because the Buddha wasn't trying to sugarcoat life. He wanted us to wake up. He said, suffering exists, but suffering has a cause, and anything that has a cause can be ended. So let me ask you, what causes your sadness? Is it people? Is it loss? Is it failure? No, it's your craving, your attachment, your desire for things to stay the same, your resistance to change, your expectations of how life should be. And when life doesn't follow that script, you feel sad, you feel betrayed, you feel broken. But here's the twist. Life never promised to follow your script. Buddha said, everything is impermanent. All things rise and fall. Your relationships, your emotions, your youth, your career, even your thoughts, all rise and fall like waves in the ocean. So the question is, are you trying to stop the waves, or are you ready to learn how to surf them? Because sadness is like a wave. It builds up, it crashes, but it also dissolves. If you just sit still, if you don't panic, if you don't grab it or push it away, it will pass. That's the Buddhist way. We don't fight emotions, we observe them. We breathe through them. We become so rooted in mindfulness that nothing can shake us. This is called vipassana, insight meditation, seeing things as they really are. Imagine if you could see sadness for what it truly is, not as a monster to fear, but as a passing cloud, a temporary energy. Would you still suffer? Would you still feel helpless? Or would you finally feel free? Now listen closely, because this may be the most important thing you'll ever hear. You are not your sadness. You are the space in which sadness appears and disappears. You are not the emotion. You are the awareness watching it. And when you return to that awareness, you return to your natural state. Peace, pure, unshaken, infinite peace. So next time you feel sad, remember this. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to escape it. Just sit with it. Observe your breath. Notice the sensations in your body. Watch your thoughts come and go. That is where sadness ends. Not outside you, but inside. In your awareness. In your stillness. In your surrender. And that is the greatest superpower. You see, most people are chasing happiness, but the wise, they are mastering peace. And when you master peace, sadness cannot shake you, because sadness lives in reaction, but peace lives in response. This is what Buddhism teaches. This is what the Buddha discovered under that Bodhi tree. And this is what you can discover if you dare to look within. You've been sad long enough. You've been hurting long enough. Now it's time to transform. So I invite you, not just to watch this video, but to experience it. Feel it in your bones. Let it crack open something inside you. Let it awaken a truth you've always known, but forgotten. That you were never broken, just unaware, and that awareness is returning now. This is Wisdom of Sparks, where we don't just talk about Buddhism, we live it. And today, we begin a journey, not to escape life, but to embrace it completely, with presence, power, and peace. Because once you understand this truth, you will never feel sad again. Part 2, the Buddhist blueprint to emotional freedom. 1, the root of all sadness. What Buddha really meant by dukkha. We begin at the core of all Buddhist philosophy, the Four Noble Truths. Buddha's first declaration after enlightenment was not a motivational quote. It was a direct, raw truth. Life is dukkha. Dukkha is often mistranslated as suffering, but it's more than that. It means a sense of dissatisfaction, unease, or restlessness that haunts all human beings. It includes sadness, grief, anxiety, fear, regret, all the hidden emotions we try to avoid. But the Buddha wasn't being negative. He wasn't telling us to live in fear. He was waking us up. Think of your own life. You get something you want, but soon it doesn't satisfy you. You love someone but fear they'll leave you. You succeed but the joy fades. This constant cycle of gain and loss, hope and fear is dukkha. Buddha said, there is dukkha. It has a cause, craving and attachment, tanha. It can end. There's a path to that ending, the Noble Eightfold Path. We feel sad not because of what happens, but because of how tightly we hold on to our ideas of what should happen. Once you see sadness not as a personal enemy, but a universal illusion, you've already taken the first step toward liberation. 2, the power of impermanence, Anicca, why nothing lasts and why that's good. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering, Dhammapada. The second great insight Buddha taught was Anicca, impermanence. Everything you're attached to is temporary. The people you love, the pain you fear, the joy you seek, even your own body, emotions, and thoughts. Sadness arises when we refuse to accept impermanence. We want relationships to last forever. We want to stay young forever. We want happiness to stay and pain to disappear. But nature doesn't work that way. Buddha didn't say impermanence to depress you. He said it to liberate you. Because if everything changes, then sadness also changes. If everything passes, your pain will pass too. Think of a storm. No matter how powerful, it doesn't last forever. So why believe your sadness will? Once you embrace Anicca, sadness becomes lighter. You stop clinging, you stop resisting. And in that surrender comes peace. 3, how mindfulness makes you invincible. Mindfulness, or sati in Pali, is at the heart of Buddhist meditation. It means being fully present in this moment, without judgment. When sadness arises, what do most people do? They distract themselves, social media, food, entertainment. They fight it, I shouldn't feel this way. They suppress it, I'm fine. But Buddhism teaches a radical alternative. Observe it without clinging, without resistance. Example, you feel a wave of sadness. Your chest feels heavy, your eyes want to cry. Your thoughts say, I'm broken. Instead of reacting, just notice. Sadness is here. There's a heaviness in the chest. Thoughts of pain are arising. You don't judge, you don't feed the story. You become the witness. And in that moment of awareness, something magical happens. You create space. That space is your power. That space is where sadness dissolves. The more you practice mindfulness, the more unshakable you become, because now emotions pass through you, but they don't own you. 4. Metta, loving kindness meditation, melting sadness with compassion. One of the most powerful Buddhist practices is metta bhavana, the cultivation of loving kindness. Sadness often comes from loneliness, guilt, resentment, or feeling unworthy. Metta is the medicine. It works like this. You sit quietly and repeat phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering." Then you expand it to someone you love, to a neutral person, to someone who has hurt you, to all living beings. You send genuine love, not because they deserve it, but because your heart needs it. Science has shown that metta meditation reduces anxiety, depression, and even physical pain. But more importantly, it helps you heal from within. Because when you send love to others, you awaken love within yourself. 5. The Noble Eightfold Path, the complete roadmap to ending sadness. The Noble Eightfold Path is the Buddha's full system for ending dukkha. Let's explore each step. 1. Right view, understanding that life has suffering, but suffering has an end, seeing impermanence and karma clearly. 2. Right intention, living with thoughts of compassion, renunciation, and harmlessness, letting go of craving and resentment. 3. Right speech, avoiding lies, gossip, and harshness. Speaking truth with kindness heals relationships and your own heart. 4. Right action, choosing ethical behavior, avoiding harm to others. Compassionate living reduces karmic guilt and sadness. 5. Right livelihood, earning through moral and honest means. Work that brings benefit, not harm. 6. Right effort, cultivating positive states of mind, letting go of negative thoughts, not being passive but consciously growing. 7. Right mindfulness, being present with thoughts, feelings, body, and surroundings, watching without reacting. 8. Right concentration, deep meditation, training the mind to stay focused, developing insight and inner stillness. Each of these steps breaks the chains of suffering. Together, they lead to freedom. 6. The story of Kisagotami, how Buddha healed a mother's grief. Kisagotami was a woman whose only child died. Devastated, she ran from house to house, begging for medicine to bring her child back. People thought she had gone mad. Finally, someone sent her to the Buddha. He said, "Bring me a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no one has lost a child, parent, or loved one." She went door to door, but every house had experienced loss. She returned silent. The Buddha gently said, "Impermanence is the law of life. All beings must part." In that moment, Kisagotami saw the truth. She was not alone. Her sadness was not punishment. It was part of being human. And in seeing that, she let go of her sorrow and became a disciple. This story isn't just history. It's a mirror. Your sadness isn't unique. It's not a curse. It's not forever. It's a shared human experience. And once you see that, you can begin to heal. 7. Detachment V's, indifference, the balance of peace. People often misunderstand Buddhist detachment. They think it means not caring, but that's indifference. True detachment means caring without clinging. Imagine holding a butterfly. If you grip it tightly, you kill it. If you let it sit freely, it may fly away, but it's alive. That's how we should love, with open palms, not clenched fists. Sadness often comes because we love with attachment. We try to possess, control, force. But the Buddha said, attachment is the root of suffering. To end sadness, don't kill your emotions. Transform your relationship to them. Love fully, but don't depend on it for your happiness. Care deeply, but don't lose your center. That's the path to peace. 8. Final realization, you are not the sadness. Here is the most liberating truth Buddhism offers. You are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. You are not your past. You are awareness. You are presence. You are the silent observer behind the storm. Just like the sky is untouched by the clouds, your true nature is untouched by sadness. When you sit in meditation and observe sadness come and go, you realize the one watching is never sad. That one is pure, peaceful, infinite. That one is you. When you live from that space, sadness loses its power, not because it disappears, but because you're no longer identified with it. This is nirvana. This is freedom. This is what the Buddha found. And this is what you are now remembering.